Mary said. I am concerned about how this has happened. It does not seem like it has followed what would be an appropriate protocol. You said you spoke with the incoming township supervisor, and that just seems inappropriate. I guess I'm wondering if the township manager had any sort of contract in place, and if so, if the terms of that contract have been followed in this process. As well as, the other concern that I have, that I think is very important for the entire township to start realizing, is I was very excited about tonight's meeting at first, and then as I started doing a little research, I got a lot less excited. I saw that on the agenda, we're yet making another change to township solicitor. We'll be on our third one in so many years now.
It's not so unusual.
Compo to the prior one. Now we're making another change, and I'm very concerned with the firm that you're bringing in, the Sean Kilkenny law firm. They've been involved in various federal investigations. They've been involved in federal civil rights lawsuits, and they've been involved in some very suspicious activities in other municipalities that they've both represented, either as township solicitor and or in other capacities. And we're bringing them into West Whiteland to give us legal advice after they've been involved in federal civil rights lawsuits where a candidate tried to run for a Democratic mayor in another town, and that town actually began enforcement action against that person because they didn't have the Democratic committee's permission to run. And the law firm acted in capacity to try and basically take action upon them because of that. They were involved in the pay-to-play scandal in Allentown. They were involved in some very suspicious activity with some redevelopment. No. And I would like to ask the township supervisor.
Hold on. This is a public meeting. If you're going to make acquisitions of these kinds, I'll have to
it's Google. It's news articles that I found on Google in 15 minutes.
Wow, everybody in West Whiteland can Google all of a sudden, but they can't do it with Sunoco, can they?
We did this extensive search of this firm last year.
When did this happen? When did this extensive search happen? Was there an RFP out for it?
This is a layup
we had an RFP
for her.
Done
Keep
last
watching.
Year for our solicitors. We had this firm intensively verified. We had this firm through all the companies you could find out with. We had.
Why weren't they doing it last year then, Raj?
We had, Tim, let me finish. We had our police chief run a background check on it. We have never done any police background check for any attorneys. And it was done for this specific attorney. And there was nothing that we could find. So
did you do a Google search and find the news articles about it?
Oh, okay. Because a Google search trumps a professional background check.
It took me less than 15 minutes to find those three articles.
An extensive search of this.
That wasn't what I asked. Are you aware of those three incidents that I talked about that I found within 15 minutes on Google? Because I would like to know, I would like a public statement from each member of the Board of Supervisors if you personally and or your campaign have ever received any campaign funds for your election or re-election from the Kilkenny law firm. And if so, I would like you to recuse yourselves from appointing them as township solicitor because even though it may be permitted, it's not appropriate.
Mr. Hubbard, I could answer your question.
Here's the layup.
I ran my campaign on $1,700, mostly from family, from my mother, who is now deceased, and my son.
Oh, St. Theresa.
And a few $10 things from a few close friends. I don't owe anybody or any organization my vote in any way because mostly my campaign was run on shoe leather, gumption, and $1,700, and you can go to the voter services in
Golly
Chester
gee
County,
willikers, Theresa.
and you will verify. You can verify that. I can tell you, I've done some research also. The chair, he ran a joint campaign, but there is a donation to West Whiteland Democrats in 2019 from the Kilkenny law firm. And Mr. Dunn took at least $400 dinner from Mr. Kilkenny. I cannot say what else.
Weren't you at that
because
dinner?
the rest of his,
With other people?
finance report just says Act Blue. So he didn't put down who the donor was, just that the money came through the Act Blue account.
Oh, so now you're trying to say he's a bad guy
Tim,
because he's a
want
threat to
know
you.
How much? You asked me how much did I receive. You should also ask how much I have donated to his sheriff campaigns, his charity organizations, and everything.
No, I shouldn't. I don't care about the charity organizations.
We donate to people whom we trust. We donate
No,
to
because
people
it's
whom
not
we
people who
support.
trust. You're bringing them in to give them taxpayer money after they donated to your campaign. That's not appropriate.
So I'll show you why they are appointing them.
My taxpayer funds
You
from West
can
Whiteland
say,
now being paid to that firm. It's not appropriate.
Tim, his rates are the lowest for any solicitor. We are paying $265 an hour right now. His rate
I'd
is
rather pay
$155.
more and know
That's
that you're getting
$100 cheaper than
county,
any other
like we
lawyer.
have for years. Suddenly you're bringing this firm in from outside the county that only represents one other municipality and a water resources authority, as far as I can find in Chester County. It's just not appropriate. And I was so excited that we were actually turning a page in West Whiteland, and here you are, along with my concern is that the new supervisor, and now we're heading right down the same old track, except we're taking 2 steps back. That's all I have to say. I think it's important that the citizens know that.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think so. And for any other folks who want to raise anything, please do not repeat yourself. If you have some